Successful people are not relatable. They are not like everybody else. They are not going to relate to you. I don't want to be relatable. I don't want to be like everybody else. I don't want to have this lifestyle that is just mediocre. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alize. My channel is all about becoming the best version of yourself through practical action and spirituality. Today's video is all about people pleasing, and I thought this would be a really good topic to talk about. I've always cared a lot about what people think about me. That caused me to be very shy. It caused me not to open up, constantly being worried about what I might say, if I might say the wrong thing. And while it is something that I struggle with now, I've definitely come a long way, but it's not easy. I definitely find myself reverting back to that old version of myself, but it's definitely a lot of that, of rewriting that narrative of that shy girl and just saying I'm not that person anymore, and I don't have to continue being that person if I don't want to be. You have so much power in rewriting who you are. If you want to, you don't even have to be the same person that you were a year ago, a month ago, a week ago, 5 minutes ago. It does come with the challenge of trying to stay away from what's comfortable, from continuous patterns that are going to try to creep their way back in, and say that no, I am now this new version of myself that is still me, but is just a little bit more elevated. Constantly feeling like you have to please other people not only shows up in your day-to-day, in conversations in real life, but also with how you promote yourself. I mean, for me, I think what kept me from starting a YouTube channel for a long time was just being worried about what people will see, and especially people who I know in real life. People are going to see this and watch this, and they might have this perception of who they think I am based on those few times that they've met me in real life. But one, it could be a version of me that no longer exists, and two, it's also just really vulnerable to put yourself out there and just talk. It's different than being in conversation too when you are posting. I think I was just really afraid of being that open and being that vulnerable, and so that's what would stop me. And that's something that I'm just realizing, well, if I'm not posting, that's holding me back, because this is something that I want to do. It's definitely still a learning curve, because I'm trying to find my voice just on YouTube, on trying to show the most authentic version of myself on camera, and that's not an easy thing to do. It's something that right now is not yet completely natural, but I know with time it will be. I just have to keep putting myself in those uncomfortable situations in order for it to come more naturally. The most important part and the most important lesson of all that is just doing it and just starting. If you don't ever start the uncomfortable thing, if you don't ever go to the things that you're scared about, like with friendships too. I just moved to Arizona and I don't have any friends out here yet, and so I really have to put myself out there in going to the events that I want to go to. And so I signed up for this one workout event, and I ended up meeting such incredible people just by simply going. And I was nervous about it, and even when the day came, I kept thinking, I don't even think I want to go. And then I did. After that event, it was kind of something that I made the decision to do, where, okay, well, if I want to make friends, I have to put in the effort, just like I would with a relationship, to initiate conversation, to, yeah, not only follow them on Instagram and follow each other, but also like their posts, swipe up on their stories, and say, hey girl, do you want to hang out this Friday, and actually setting a date, not just saying, oh, one day we're going to hang out, and then that not actually leading to anything. I started to take the initiative of actually saying, hey, I'm free Friday at 2 o'clock. Are you free? Most of the times it's yes, because a lot of these girls are also looking for that genuine connection too. That was the way of how I started making friends, and that's something that I really learned from one of my very close friends, Eliza. She taught me so much about just reaching out, and that sounds like such a simple thing to do, but I started noticing a pattern in myself where I wouldn't reach out because I was so nervous. I was like, that's so scary to meet new friends. What if they don't like me? What if I say something dumb? And so it felt safer to just keep up with this Instagram relationship of only following each other, but then it not going anywhere. Something that I really decided to work on, and I was thinking about this while I was creating my vision board this year. The version of myself that I really want to be is somebody who's outgoing, who is extroverted, who puts themselves out there, who is talking to people, who organizes things where friends can get together. Like, that's the type of person I've always wanted to be, and I felt like I couldn't be because I was so scared and nervous and had anxiety. And it was like, for what? Because I'm just trying to please everybody and just trying to, like, I don't even know, because I feel that when I'm authentic and when I'm with myself, I feel like people like me. I feel like I get along really, really well with people. But when I'm closed off and scared, that's when I'm not able to make genuine connections, because I'm just in my own head. And it's like, that's not helping me at all. That's not helping anybody. I think also, if you are constantly afraid of what people might think about you, being cautious of who you're surrounding yourself with, I think a lot of it was me and just me getting in my own way. But I think I can also reference other situations where I don't think I was surrounded by groups of people that I think I felt more so that I was trying to impress and be somebody that I wasn't, and that was not aligning with the authentic me. And so that's also why I felt that I needed to silence my voice, because I was like, well, this version of me that they know isn't really me, and I have to keep up with this pretense, and I have to keep up with this person. And after a while, that's just so exhausting. If you are around people where you feel you can't be yourself around, just wondering if it's because you're simply getting in your own head, or if it's because maybe this group of people, this one person, whether it be a friend, a boyfriend, whatever, maybe they're just not for you. And that's okay. That also is nobody's fault. Nobody is to blame for that either. If you are accepting behavior that you know you shouldn't be accepting, that you know isn't good for you, that is bothering you, and then bottling up those emotions and just not expressing what is making you upset in the right, most authentic way for you, because you're afraid of the reactions, whether you're afraid of them being upset, mad, you're not being true to expressing yourself. That may be a result potentially of your relationship with your parents. Maybe you were only praised for doing the right thing, and that was the only time you received positive attention from your parents. That could then correlate to how you show up and how you communicate in your relationships. Of course, it's very common because we are told immediately that we have to listen to our parents, we have to do what they say, and they are more pleased with you when you listen to them, when you follow, when you obey, when you do what they say. And I'm not saying like that's a bad thing, like don't listen to your parents, obviously not, and that you shouldn't have listened to your parents, but it's just like this small little psychological thing that can be carried into other things, because when you are constantly being praised and they're pleased with you and it's positive, when you are doing what they say, it reaffirms and confirms that, hey, I'm doing the right thing, and so this is what I have to do in every sort of relationship. And if I do so, I'm going to be rewarded in some sort of way. That may also translate into the job security of not wanting to be your own boss, your own entrepreneur, not learning how to be independent and being your own person. It's a tricky balance. As a child, you immediately learn how to act in restaurants, because if you start yelling and screaming and throwing a tantrum in a restaurant, you learn very quickly that that's not the correct and right thing to do. Societally, there is a socially acceptable way of being in the world, and unfortunately that does not translate into the ways of young children. It's learned behavior based on societal and cultural customs, right? And so we learn very early that, hey, if I do something that my parent wants me to do and I do the good thing, I'm going to be rewarded. They're going to give me candy. They're going to give me a hug. They lead into people pleasing for other people, where it's like, I have to constantly be doing the right thing, not only in front of my parents, but in front of everybody, in front of my boss, in front of friends at school, in front of boyfriends, to feel the pressures of having to be so perfect. For some people, it just might be on the more extreme way of things, where that anxiety just really overrides us. People who are very rich, people who are very quote unquote successful, are not like everybody else. And so this gave me personally a lot of reassurance in thinking that I'm just different, I'm weird, I'm not like everybody else. You don't realize how much of a superpower that is to be different and to be not like everybody else. The 1% of people who are rich and who are successful did not get there because they were like everybody else. They got there because there was something about them that was different and they stood out. People who are successful don't care about what other people think about them because they know inside who they are, and that's the only opinion they need, and they know that that's the only opinion that matters. As long as you know who you are, and you know you're a good person, and you know your intentions, and you know your values and your morals, who cares what anybody else thinks? They're not interested in making other people understand them because they understand themselves, and so they're not going out of their way to prove themselves. People are either going to like you or they're not, and that has nothing to do personally with you. People are going to form their own opinions on you based on their own personalized experience, based on their own environment, their own parents, their own patterns, customs, culture, socioeconomic status, whatever. They're going to already base an opinion on you no matter what you do. So you might as well just be yourself. Successful people don't mind how other people are going to perceive them because they are authentic and aligned with themselves, and so they don't have to prove anything, especially because that is just a waste of time and that just gets in the way of them achieving their goals. They're too worried about themselves to worry about you. You're never going to make bold moves if you're constantly worried about other people misunderstanding you and misjudging you. Because that's what would happen to me all the time, is I was worried about saying the wrong thing, being misunderstood, about other people not understanding what I was trying to say, and so I would just stay silent, and then I would missed out on so much. I missed out on friendships. There were so many people I could remember where I thought they were the coolest person ever. I was like, I could totally imagine myself being friends with that person. We have so much in common. I really like them. They're so cool. But I wouldn't talk to them or say anything because I was so scared. I was like, they're too cool. Like, they're not going to like me. When that's just so ridiculous. I missed out on that. I missed out on opportunities that I could have gone to because I was too scared to go and put myself out there when I know I would have had a good time. That's not living. That's not living if you are holding yourself back from opportunities simply because you are so worried about other people. Some people won't get you. Some people won't agree with you. It is human nature to shun the outcast. It's been a pattern in humankind to ostracize the person that didn't fit in, whether it be when people were cavemen. They kind of didn't allow other people to be in their group. Our bodies have learned, oh, like, in order to be safe, I have to be in this group because we are very social beings. What differentiates us from other animals is that we are naturally very, very social. Our nervous system is set to think safety is being in this group because otherwise, if we don't work together, then we're going to get eaten by a mountain lion or whatever, whatever. When people don't like us and we're ostracized, then it's harder to hunt for food. It's harder to be protected. I've been watching Bridgerton a lot too, so you see a lot of that as well, where if people don't do what societally is acceptable, then they end up having to move to the country. They end up not being invited to balls and parties and all those things. And so it does repeat itself over and over again in little ways. High school cliques. If you're different, you're going to be an outcast. Well, successful people tend to be outcasts because they're different. That's actually the best thing about you. That is what is going to separate you from everybody else. Stop trying to be relatable. Stop trying to fit in. Stop trying to hold yourself back from saying things like you really want to say. Stop saying no to things just because you're scared. Stop saying yes to things even when you're tired just because you don't want others to be upset with you. Making more money, finding yourself in a great relationship that is loving, that is healthy, doing things for yourself that is good for you. People, especially people that knew that old version of you, it's going to trigger them. They're going to say things like, she's changed, she's different. They're not going to like it because it's uncomfortable for them to see you grow. To them, And that's why you see also, like, when people get really successful on YouTube, I started seeing that narrative of YouTubers that I watch where people really liked them, right? And then once they reached a certain level of fame and success, people started saying those things of, wow, you've changed, you're now just showcasing this lifestyle that you have, you're different now, you're not relatable anymore. Well, here's the thing, y'all. Successful people are not relatable. They are not like everybody else. They are not going to relate to you. And I don't want to be relatable. I don't want to be like everybody else. I don't want to have this lifestyle that is just mediocre. Why would you want to be relatable? So you can stay stuck and never grow? If that's relatable, I don't want it. I am not trying to be relatable. I'm trying to be in that 1% success range. Enjoy the journey you're on. I hope this resonated with you in some sort of way. As always, just go ahead and take what resonates and leave the rest. If you are interested in being in that 1%, I highly recommend utilizing something like a planner to keep organized and to make sure that you are doing everything you can to get to your goals. I have linked in my bio a luxury mindset type of planner, and it's really cute. It's gold. It's my vibe, and I think all of you that are watching this video are really going to enjoy it. Remember to choose grace, move with intention, and elegance is a mindset. I will see you all in my next video, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye, everyone.